Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Temptation Island coverage here on RHAP. Today, we are talking about episodes 2 through 4 of Temptation Island, the second Netflix season, and we're gonna go a little bit into episode 5 as well, just a little bit, because episode 4 ends in the middle of a bonfire, and we
Mhm.
didn't want to make you wait the way Netflix makes us wait. So we're gonna talk about it through the end of that bonfire. And then it cuts off, and then the rest will be on the next podcast. But as always,
Perfect plan. Mhm.
and that's how you know it's perfect. And that, of course, I'm Kirsten McInnis, joined as always by the wonderful, smart, perfect, amazing Maggie Morgan. Maggie, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. Oh, I'm so glad that we can talk through all of this. I have so many thoughts.
Yes.
I'm having so much fun with this season. I have to say,
Me
this is
too.
fun.
This season is literally a mess.
Mhm.
Complimentary, and
Mhm.
I'm so excited to go through all of this with you. I do think I miss one thing about Temptation Island being like a weekly episode, and that's that I wish we got a bonfire every episode, you know? Like
Uh-huh.
that's the one thing that's really missing. But
Mhm.
in these, 3 episodes, we got 2 bonfires, so that's not too bad.
We got two bonfires and they were so juicy. Also, like all of these people have such problems. Like
Mhm.
there's not like one kind of normal couple that's there that like I'll never forget the first season that we covered. I think like there was a couple named Kristen and Julian, and he had cheated on.
Mhm.
They've been together since high school for like 8 years, and he had cheated on her once, like many years ago. And he like they were like very normal, and like he like proved that he was like a really wonderful changed guy, and they got engaged, and like it was boring, and like all of these people are messes. Like none of these people should be together, and I can't wait to talk about it. At least in my opinion, none of them should be together.
No, Kosa again, like the minute you come on Temptation Island,
Yeah.
cooler heads have to prevail and say you should not be together because like if
Hmm.
you should be together, the show shouldn't even be a thought in your mind, right? But
Hmm.
we have a lot to dig into with these couples this time. So this episode did start with the dates that they had picked. So
Hmm.
like I just want to keep the men like drove in convertibles with their dates, and they were like some sort of weird like picnic area, but also there was a view. Like I was confused what this date was supposed to be. And then the women all brought their men to go all just be on a yacht.
Hmm. Which, hey, love, yeah, unless you get seasick. But
Mhm.
I do feel like some of the dates, like, they can't all be winners.
Mhm.
So some of the dates are good, some of the dates are bad. Like that's a staple of Temptation Island. They're always going to do some weird stuff, some weird yoga, you know.
Well, and it's the start of the season, so they can't use all the
Mhm.
good dates now. What I
Yeah.
find very notable that we need to point out here is everyone's just taking the same people on every date over and over and over.
Mhm.
Like these people
Summit's the
are
only person
locked
who switched
in.
it up. Mhm.
Yes. Everyone else is just taking the same people. So
Mhm.
it's very strange. It is very strange.
Is it strange or have they made a connection? You know?
Well, you could call it a connection, I suppose.
Sure.
So it's really just weird. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't even know if anything like which couple should we talk about first? Let's break this down couple
Okay.
by couple.
Yeah, I think couple by couple is good. Why don't we start with the most boring one and kind of get them out of the way? Let's do Cole and
Yes.
Scarlett.
Well, and there's not a lot to say, really, because like
Mhm.
at the start of this, like we don't really get to see much of Cole. We get like a confessional of him saying, "Oh, like I just miss Scarlett, like I don't feel happy or motivated to do anything." And then
Mhm.
this is where it really shifts because then he starts talking about like, oh, all I do is apologize and all I do is take the blame. Like the last 2 months, our relationship's been really good. So like, I don't understand why there's a problem. And then he says, and this is the biggest red flag to me.
Mhm.
He says, I bring a lot of high value qualities to a
Yes.
relationship. And there's nothing wrong with like thinking you bring a lot to the table, but just the specific term high value gets used in very troubling circles.
I was about to say very red pilled of him.
Mhm.
And also, like, it feels like the lady doth protest too much. You know what I mean? Like his insecurity is showing so much throughout these episodes. Like he keeps saying, like, I've been so loyal lately. I've been so good lately. Like lately? What are you talking about lately? Like that makes it seem like, oh, like I've been going to the gym so much lately. I've been like so into fitness lately. Like
Mhm.
what about like I am committed to Scarlett. I want to be with her. I want to make this work. Like he really is kind of petulant in a lot of ways,
Yes.
I
A
feel. And he doesn't
and
have the
he
to not be.
100%. And he keeps saying, like, all of these mistakes are in the past, and, like, Scarlett needs to just get over it if we're gonna move forward. And, like, to an extent, that is true, right? If there are issues that happened in the past, both
Mhm.
partners have to kind of agree on how to get over it and then just, like, get over it. Like,
Mhm.
I've been doing a Friends rewatch recently,
Uh-huh.
and one thing that I find so crazy is how much the, like, "we were on a break" comes up constantly. Like, they get back together, and then Rachel, like, holds it over his head, and then, like, they could just move forward, but he just has to be right, so he keeps bringing up the break, and it's like, you have to be able to get over things at a certain point. And so, like, I
Mhm.
do think that is true, but I don't believe, Cole, that this behavior is in the past, because what we're hearing from Scarlett is, I told him before we came here that we are on really tenuous ground and I am this close to leaving him and things have been so
Mhm.
bad and I don't trust him. And it's just like totally different information, to the point of when it comes to bonfires, Mark L. Wahlberg is like, well, there is a canyon between how you
Yes.
describe the relationship and how Scarlett describes the relationship.
Mhm.
So, what's the issue here?
Mhm. And like truly. So the episode 2 bonfire clips that
Mhm.
are seen is the one where he says, like the past 2 months have been so good. And she's like, that's literally not true at all. Like he's been lying to me for the past 2 months. Like they go into this weird thing about him going to the track and like lying about some girl that was there. Um like the bonfire clip that she has about him is him bitching about like he wants her to get through, like she's never taken accountability for like you're like she wants him to just let go everything that's been circling, and she's like, but he's never taken accountability for what he does. He just
Mhm.
like brushes it off. So they're like, all of the bonfire clips are not like them cheating or doing something to feel
Mhm.
disrespected. It's them hearing the way that the other person talks about them and being like, what's not freaking clicking here? And
Yeah.
also, I feel like after that first bonfire, the boys came back from the first bonfire and he was like, oh, it was completely awful to the girls. And like the bonfire clip that he had of her was just her like crying and being like, I don't know what
It's
like to do.
yeah,
Well,
it's
how is that
giving.
awful?
I mean, I think it is awful to realize that you are
Uh-huh.
not a good partner, and I think it is
Mhm.
awful to see your partner upset, but, like, the way
Mhm.
he said, "Oh, it's awful," it's as if he saw her having sex with somebody else, like, straight
Yes.
up. Like, it's just extremely strange, and they're just obviously not on the same page, and she says at one point, like, I feel like he doesn't hear me when I'm talking to him, and I just want him to internalize what I am saying to him, and he never
Mhm.
does. And then we're literally seeing it play out because
Mhm.
it just continues. Like, he goes back to the house and he's like, "Yeah, that was awful." And like she's unhappy, based on trust. And I did really like, actually, at the bonfire when he said, well, I 99% of the time I'm transparent, and then just like 1% of the time I'm not, and that just throws it all away. And Mark L. Wahlberg goes, you're either transparent or you're not,
Yes.
period.
Mhm.
And so like, and the takeaway from all of this really is like, Scarlett's like, I feel like he's not even trying in this experience, and so what's the point if he's not even going to try and change it
Mhm.
all? And Cole kind of
I
takes away, like, oh, maybe I should try to figure out. But he literally goes, well, I'm trying to figure out how to grow, but I don't know the steps.
I
And
was about
Mark's
to say,
like,
I don't think
there's
he
no steps.
I don't think he knows how. Like, I do not think that he is at like Scarlett seems like a really emotionally intelligent person. She's able
Mhm.
to really articulate herself. She's able to articulate what the issues are and what they're talking about when they talk about him. She's like, my friends don't really like him. They feel like there's no depth to him. And like, that's what we're seeing. He's not, and there has to be depth to him. There's depth to every single person, but like
Mhm.
he doesn't, like you're saying, he feels kind of helpless. Like what are the steps? What do I need to do? But he feels completely uncurious about
Mhm.
his own emotions and his own feelings and his own behavior. And I wanted to bring this up just in general, and this is for all of the men in the villa. This doesn't just apply to them,
Mhm.
to Cole and Scarlett. I felt like when we went into that first bonfire, all of the girls were like so nervous. They're like, "Oh my god, we're so nervous." The guys, I felt, came in with this air of resentment. Like they all were resentful of what that they had to do this, that they had to listen to their partner's feelings, that they had to like they were so pissed off about the fact that they like it felt unfair to them that they had to sit through watching what their partner was emotionally experiencing. And like that is bullshit. I'm so sorry. That is complete bullshit. In all of the seasons of Temptation Island, I do not feel like there has ever been a group of men who dislike their girlfriends more than these guys do. And not in the way where they are like, oh, I hate her and I'm going to publicly humiliate her. They hate the fact that they have feelings and are expected to react to their feelings. They hate that. And that pisses me off.
Yeah, no, it is very much overall giving kind of like that red pill energy. Like more
Yeah.
so like Cole says, oh, he brings high value to the relationship, whatever. But it's like it feels like all of them have this very rigid sense of what it means to be a man and what it means to be a man in a relationship with a woman. And it's literally giving like 80s sitcom like woman emotional, man doesn't have emotions. Like it's really really strange. And like Cole thinks I need an instruction manual to tell me how to have a healthy relationship and how to move forward. And it's like that doesn't exist. Like you
Mhm.
have to work with your partner and with yourself to build a life together. If you're going
Yes.
to have a real relationship, you need to be a team. And even like at the first bonfire, Scarlett says like in her ideal fantasy of what a relationship would be, it's like we're a team, we trust each other, we're there for each other, and it's just not so stressful. And it's like, yeah, babe,
Yes.
you are circling the point with a helicopter because there is
Yes.
a man out there for you that it will
Mhm.
feel like that and it will not be stressful. And if
Well,
someone makes you feel so stressed, that's not your man.
and that's the thing. Like Mark Wahlberg was telling her, she's like, you're never gonna have somebody that checks all your boxes. And he was like, well, you're gonna have somebody who checks the big boxes in a way that is so strong that those other boxes that you're thinking about like won't even matter to you. Like you
It's
said, the 6'4" thing. Like you meet the
yeah,
perfect man, it doesn't matter if he's 5'1". You're like, I don't care, it's
literally.
him. Like I love him. Like it. I it's just really sad to me that it's clear she's been banging her head against the wall with this guy who like
Mhm.
I don't even think I don't know that he's really nefariously lying to her all the time. I think he's just like conflict avoidant and is I don't know. I don't know what
I
the hell
think
his problem is.
I think he doesn't care enough to just tell the truth. And so
Yeah.
because he doesn't care enough, he doesn't care enough to ever have a hard conversation or a
Yes.
real
Mhm.
conversation. And
Yes.
so he will always take the path of least resistance, even though like he should have learned the lesson probably 100 times that it's like the ounce of prevention or a pound of cure situation where if
Yes.
he would just have the hard conversation up front or even just tell the truth up front, then you don't end up in this situation where you're constantly being asked if you're telling the truth or not. And
And also, like, that creates a cycle where all of these men have found themselves
Mhm.
in this cycle where they're lying to their girlfriends. So then their girlfriends are being like overly sensitive. Their girlfriends are, hyper fixating, and they're being incredibly overbearing because their boyfriends are lying to them. So then they're
Mhm.
like, oh my God, my girlfriend's so freaking controlling. Like she flies off the handle at every little thing. It's like, no, you have been lying to her for however, God knows how long, for the past 2 years that you've been together. So of course it's not going to, you going out to golf or go to the track with your friend is not going to be an easy conversation because you lie about it all the time.
Well, and also, why are you telling random girls in your DMs that you're going to the track as like an implied invitation? That's weird.
And again, if that is the vibe that you want in your life, like this is the thing that pisses me off the most about modern dating. And you're going to see me a little bit more activated on this podcast than you maybe have in the past, because
I love it.
since the last Temptation Island season, I've had a couple of dating experiences that have pissed me off. And like, I think that this is the thing about modern dating. It's like men really think that like women can't handle like truth because they don't want to have a hard conversation. And it's like, okay, well, if you told her, hey, there's this girl in my DMs, she wants to meet up to go to the track, and your girlfriend's like, that's weird. And you're like, no, it's not. And you can explain why it's not, because, oh, she also races. She does, X, Y, or Z. Actually, we have a lot in common. She could be a good like racing partner, whatever. I don't even know what the track
Mhm.
means. Like, I don't,
Like, I
like,
thought he was going to bet on horses at the
yeah,
racetrack, but you're
I
right.
don't,
It could be like anything. We don't even know what kind of track it is
exactly.
because
And exactly. There could be a perfectly logical explanation for it, but also there could not be. But then
Mhm.
everybody has all of the information about what is going on here. And maybe this relationship wouldn't have dragged on for 2 freaking years of
Mhm.
her being like, what the heck is he doing? Like, if it was very clear up front that this is the type of guy that he is going to engage with other women, and like maybe he's not fit right now for a really serious relationship and wants something more casual, that to me feels like what he's looking for out of
Mhm.
Scarlett, and is like refusing to just say that, because then she would be like, well, I want more than that, and leave him, and he doesn't want to lose her. And he's talking about getting married to her. I'm like, in what world are you the type of person who's ready for that kind of commitment?
And again, we don't even know because we don't even get the conversation. But literally, after the second bonfire, what Scarlett sees is Cole saying like she needs to come to terms with the past. She needs to get over it. I tell the truth, you're mad. I lie, you're mad. Like you need to get over it. Like that's basically the whole thing of the second
Mhm.
bonfire. And Scarlett says like it's hard to let it go when it happened as recently as a week before we got here. Like he keeps saying it's in the past, but we've never processed it. So it's still a present issue. And when he's withholding information, like it's hard to trust him. Like I just want consistency. I just want transparency. Totally valid things to ask. But then she says one of the craziest things you can ever really say about someone you think you want as your life partner, someone you are dating seriously. She says, I just wish he had more depth and better conversation. Like, girl, it's
Mhm.
over.
Mhm.
What do
It's
you
over.
mean?
It's over. And I think that that's the thing. I think she's like around all these men who
Mm-hmm.
she's having better conversations with than she's ever had with her partner, and she's known them for like 4 days. Um yeah, I'm not thinking like all of the men on Temptation Island are going to be the best conversationalists, but it's clear some of
No.
them are cool and they get along. And I'm kind of like, what are we doing here? Like, it just seems loveless to me.
Yeah, it really just seems empty. It's very, very strange. And he saw like the clip that he sees at that bonfire is her saying, like, I just really want to see Cole open up. Even my friends have trouble getting to know him, and that's a real issue in our in our life. And then it's her and Bradley at the bar, her talking about how they have good conversations and she wants conversations like that in a relationship. And then this is Cole is back again at Bonfire for a second time saying the relationship was good in the last 2 months. Like, I don't understand. Like, he's gaslighting himself.
I'm telling you, he doesn't know. Like, he doesn't. I think he's just not like emotionally deep.
It's not clicking. And then he says that the start of their relationship, when she broke up with him the first time, just like damaged his confidence and his self-worth. So like that's why the little white lies happened. And it's like, dude, you were lying before that. Stop. Don't act like she caused you to lie to her. Like, I don't understand what happens that you just assume that now this woman has made you into presumably a compulsive liar.
Yeah. And also, that sounds like a you problem. That sounds like you feel inadequate, so you're lying. Like, that's not, she hasn't driven you to the place of lying. It sounds like she wanted more from you. You weren't giving it to her, so she broke up with you. And then when you guys got back together, when you convinced her that you could do more for her, I guess the more is just like lying to her? What?
Listen, hey man, you can always do more for your partner when the more is lying. Like,
I am getting so pissed off, Kirsten. I didn't even think of these people before I started talking about them, but I'm like, what is going on here with this bullshit?
The whole relationship seems very nonsensical, and so we'll have to see, where it goes moving forward. But it's like we're not really seeing much of Cole at all. And
he's not talking to any of the girls.
Yeah, he's not engaging in the process whatsoever, because I think then he would have to admit that he has emotions outside of confusion, and I don't think he's ready for that. And so I guess we'll have to see what happens moving forward. But I think he thinks, this is my big prediction before we move on to the next batch. I think he thinks that by not physically cheating on Scarlett in Temptation Island, he will then have convinced her that he is honest, that he is trustworthy, that everything's fine. She will get back together with him. They will ride off into the sunset, and she'll stop thinking he's a liar and asking him follow-ups on everything he says to her. But what he doesn't realize is that all of these other things he is saying have an emotional impact on the relationship and is only giving her further ammunition to leave without him, whether that's with a tempter or by herself. Like, I left the first episode thinking like, oh, I think like Cole and Scarlett could be the ones that maybe would get engaged at the end of this, because it seems like he maybe wants it to be serious. But I think he's just pretending to be Julian from that season you brought up earlier, and he's not, because he's still not being honest even with himself.
It's just clearly deeply unsatisfying to her. She's like deeply unsatisfied with the relationship, and he seems, I guess, satisfied enough to go along to get along. I don't know. I guess we'll have to, again, like, the thing is, I'm getting so worked up about this, but just because I'm like annoyed by it rather than these actual other relationships that involve demons.
Yeah, like, I think he's like a demon in training, right? And it's like, this could actually really be a crossroads where he like makes a change in himself and becomes a better partner for his next partner, because Scarlett is not for him. Or he will lean further into all of this like not great stuff and then become a full demon. We don't really know what's gonna happen. We don't even know what's gonna happen in the rest of the season yet. So stay tuned for this deeply confusing couple. Which couple should we go to next?
I think we should talk about, let's get the darkness out of the way a little bit more and talk about Kaylee and Summit.
The way Summit needs to be in jail. Like, I was like, oh, this guy seems a little toxic, and then we learn so much more. So he took Julianne, on the date, and like they have a conversation of like, well, I'm just a really fun guy and I'm so outgoing, and sometimes we have trouble because Kaylee's not so outgoing, and so she has a problem, and like, I guess I could work on being less flirty, but to me it's not flirting, it's just being nice. And like, listen, a lot of times people do confuse hot people being nice as flirting with them when they're not. But I don't believe Summit is not flirting.
I have a lot to say about this, but the first thing I want to say is that Marco Wahlberg does not like him.
Nope.
And I don't know. I mean,
Wahlberg hates him.
and I've seen Marco Wahlberg counsel horrible men. I've seen him counsel the likes of Kendall, who I do think was a full-on sociopath.
Yes.
And not a doctor, not trying to diagnose. And I do not think that Marco Wahlberg likes Summit at all.
No, I think that Marco Wahlberg likes Kaylee a lot and hates Summit, and
yeah,
I think he's correct about it because like it starts off as just like, oh, I'm so friendly and curious about the world, and that Kaylee doesn't like it, whatever. When it comes to, I'm trying to look at like,
I think if we go to that first bonfire clip, that's when I was like, okay, we're cooking with gas, because Kaylee like was kind of not really revealing much, I feel. But then she got so pissed off at him being like, she's not outgoing, like she's insecure, that she was like, okay, we're gonna go there. I'll tell you why I'm insecure. And she drops the bomb that he doesn't, like, he wants her to lose weight. And like
it's well, and it seems like even deeper than that too, because it's like, it seems like he comments on her body all the time, and like it's constantly like, you have to lose weight, oh now you're too skinny, oh now your upper arms look a certain way, like really really drilling in on like specific features that he thinks that she needs to change, and it makes her feel like absolute shit, because of course it would, because what, like,
feel that way.
What's wrong with this man that he would even think to say that? And so like at this bonfire, Marco Wahlberg says, you know, Kaylee, like you do have a responsibility that you need to stand on your own strength. And when you try to change for him, that's sick behavior, and you deserve to be healthy, and you're a gem whether you're treated like it or not. And I think that was such just beautiful advice that he gave her. And I hope that she really internalizes that.
It seems like she does, in my opinion. After that bonfire, like I felt like there was a fire in her after seeing that. Like she had this confessional after the bonfire where she was like, you know, some of the other girls saw kind of like crazier stuff than her. But she was like, I like don't like that he says I'm insecure, because I'm fucking not. And she said it like that, like so serious. And I was like, work, girl. Yes. Get that confidence back. Tell him off. Like,
yes.
No. And I feel like that really made her moving forward, like be more open about what she's been going through in this relationship.
Yes. And oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I was going to say it feeds directly into what Summit saw at the same bonfire, because Summit gets a part of Kaylee talking with Zach about how Summit comments on her body and that different things could be better. And like some things that get said and they can never be erased. And she's like, I think I'm confident, but like if I was confident, I wouldn't allow this to happen. And then Summit's like, oh, it just makes me feel terrible to hear I make her feel this way. Like, I don't actually comment on her body. Like she'll say, oh, I want to grow my glutes. And I'll say, well, you have to do like squats if you want to grow your glutes. I'm just trying to give advice. Like we just obviously have a different view of what happened. And like, dude, shut up.
Well, did you notice that he was like, okay, clearly this is an issue. The other girl I dated, you know, with only one other serious relationship, said the same thing.
But like,
screw you.
And like literally screw him. Like stop speaking on people's bodies, period. Like even a compliment, just like don't speak on it. You don't have to do that. But then he takes it and he frames it as like, well, and it was a problem in my past relationship, so I guess I'm the problem. And he's framing it as like, well, I guess I'm just garbage. I'm the worst person alive. And it's like, he's hoping to get like somebody be like, no, you're not so bad. It's okay. Like, it's just a misunderstanding. And like, I didn't even write. I don't even know what Mark Wahlberg said to him at this bonfire because I just wrote "fuck off, dude." After his comments, because he is being so. It's so horrible.
It's horrible in a way that is. It's like hard because he hasn't really. We haven't seen him behave badly with anybody else in the villa. It's hard to conceptualize a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, like we're just hearing about him doing all of this really messed up stuff and him admitting it and being like, yeah, this was a problem in my last relationship too. Like, so we know that this is true and that he's doing this. But then he's like seeming like a jovial kind of guy. I'm like, what in
Yeah.
the weird mask is going on here? Like, I think that he's just full of BS.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
He I'm trying. He goes on a date. Oh, he also like they do double dates in this batch as well. And the
Mm-hmm.
dates themselves are like largely irrelevant. But Summit asks
Mm-hmm.
Jasenia on a date. Jasenia's the first bombshell that came out at the start of the season. Like
Mm-hmm.
her little line is about having like an amazing ass, which she does. But like
Mm-hmm.
he goes to ask her out on a date. And before he actually asks her out, the first thing he says is like, "Oh, what type of Latina are you?
No.
Why
Jail.
why are you
Jail.
talking like that? What's like?" And then he's like, "I've been to like Cuba and another country, but I've never been to South America. Like, have you been to these places?" And she's like, "No."
Uh,
It's weird. It's so
I
like,
literally had the thought, Kirsten, I was like, the only way that that's acceptable is if he is also Latino. And you know what I
yes.
mean? Like, if he's like, I'm Colombian, what are you? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, like 100%. Like it's just to see just like a white dude out here being like,
mm-hmm.
"I love Latin America. Tell me what type of Latina you are." Like, it's gross. It's gross the way that he's talking and the way that he's like immediately fetishizing her and immediately like fetishizing her big ass too. Like, it's very strange. They do the like aerial yoga date, and it's like he's like has his hands hovering over like her butt because he's supposed to be spotting her thighs. And it's like,
I
like,
don't think
dude,
she's
you're
into him
gross.
at all. Like, she
No,
was
I don't
not
think
into
so.
him. Yeah.
I
And,
well,
and that's why he went back to that blonde girl.
and why would she be into him? We've
No.
not seen him act like kindly towards her at all. And actually, like, because we've also seen him go on that date with Julianne, the teacher, the blonde
Mm-hmm.
woman, and you see how he treats them is different. Like, he treats Julianne as a person to get to know, and he treats Juliana as an ass that's from Latin America. And like, that's not okay. It's so weird. And like, a lot of times we do see like people on these shows display like fetishizing behavior and like really gross
Mm-hmm.
behavior, but we don't always get to see it like
Mm-hmm.
side by side with how they treat
Mm-hmm.
like a
The
white
other,
person.
yeah.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
just, I'm so disgusted by Summit. Like, I think he's gross.
Yeah.
They also at the men's villa, they play Never Have I Ever. And it's like, okay, everyone puts like 5 fingers up, and every finger you put down, you have to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And then the person who loses has to kiss someone of their choice. So of course Summit loses because apparently he's like, I don't know. And these are the things happening in Never Have I Ever at the men's villa. Never have I ever had a threesome. Never have
Mm-hmm.
I ever slept with a married man. Never have I ever given or had a foot job. Never have I ever slept with multiple people in one day. Someone goes, "Oh, never have I ever wanted to fuck someone in this house." I'm like, you guys are gross. And then it's like, oh, sex in a car. Oh, Summit loses. He has to kiss. And it like looks like he's gonna kiss. I think it was Jasenia. It
Yeah.
was a brunette
It was.
woman. I did not actually
Uh-huh.
see their face. But then he like goes like he's gonna kiss Mikey because he quote doesn't want to hurt Kaylee's
Mm-hmm.
feelings. Mike is, and of course, as we've talked about the masculinity of the men on this season, Mikey's like, "Oh my god, a man could kiss me. Let me jump away as if it's a threat." Gross.
Yeah. And so that ended up being the bonfire
Yes.
clip that Kaylee saw. Is there anything else that you want to talk about before we go to
I
those second bonfire clips?
No, just that we get a few scenes of Kaylee talking to Zach, and it seems like he is
Mm-hmm.
really helping her kind of
Mm-hmm.
process emotionally, like, because I think, like, when you're in a bad situation, sometimes you don't realize how messed up things
Mm-hmm.
are until you get a little bit of distance. I think that
Mm-hmm.
she's getting some distance, realizing how messed up things are, and Zach is really helping her talk through it and not being too pushy, which is great. But yeah, so it goes to the bonfire. Um, I mean,
She's
Summit sees we have the clip Summit
Mhm.
sees is just like it makes me sick to my stomach because literally
Mhm.
all she's saying is like, I just want a good partner who's nice to me. I don't understand why he belittles me. Like, would the father of my children really treat me like this? And he's like, well, it's on theme with what I saw last time. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing to make her feel so unsupported. Like, I just like to do my own thing because I'm independent. So I guess maybe I'm just not ready to be in a relationship. Mark goes, maybe you're not.
Also, like, he was like, oh, I don't know what she's so upset about, like, I don't know what I'm doing to make her feel so unsupported. He goes on like the sob story about his mom being a single mom, so he has no
Yeah.
healthy whatever. But then he has the audacity to be like, she's talking about like father of her kids, like that's a really big statement. Like, I don't know. I guess we're just not meant for each other. And I'm like, dude,
Like you said, you wanted to
dude.
marry her.
Yeah.
So
And also like
conceivably, that would be father of the children.
you're now making it seem like she's like so crazy for saying that. Like,
Mhm.
whoa, that's like such a big statement to
And
make. It's like, what?
but this is like the crazy word. So he goes about how he has no example of a healthy romantic relationship, which I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, your parents didn't work out. You've never seen one friend in a good relationship, and like you don't know anyone who's in a good romantic relationship at the big age of 25. It feels a little bit strange. Like, I don't know, but whatever. Besides the point. And Mark literally has to walk him down of like, okay, well, like, sometimes, moms do things that we don't like. And you would never say, like, Mom, you're crazy. I want to have a mom that's more like that mom over there. Right. And he's like, no, I would never. Oh my God. Me and my brothers love our mom so much. And he's like, so why do you think it's okay to say that to your girlfriend? And it's like, Pikachu face. He's shocked.
Yeah.
It's never occurred to
And
him.
Marco Wahlberg, like, yeah, he's nailing it with the summit of it all. Like
Mhm.
I'm telling you, I have not seen Mark L. Wahlberg this disgusted by a man in a long time. I think the her saying like she is not eating because of him made him be like, we're done here. No more of this. You know what I
And
mean?
never forget Mark L. Wahlberg is a girl dad. And
Yes.
so I think that
Hmm.
he definitely does not like to see that like
No.
the girly is down. Because like never forget, like we have seen clips on this show in the past of like people doing threesomes, people
Hmm.
talking crazy about their partners. But
Hmm.
this in particular has really gotten under Mark's skin.
Hmm.
I mean, because it's horrible, and I
It
think
is horrible.
especially to see all of the like tempters being like, "We love Summit. He's so hot. He's so charming. He's so nice," and then you hear the things that he says to his actual like girlfriend, and you're like, "Oh, he's really scary. Like he has a mask, and
Hmm.
the when the mask comes off, it is obviously not good."
And
Um,
I hope that she is able through this experience to be like she's asking herself the right questions.
yes.
Like, is this the father of my children? Yeah. You don't want your children to see the example that their father tells their mother that they should lose or gain weight or change their body to fit the way that he wants her to appear. Like, that is not acceptable behavior. And like, the number one most important decision, every single person in the world says this, the number one most important decision you will ever make in your life is who you choose to have kids with if you decide to have children. And like, so yeah, her saying like, is this the father of my children? She's even going beyond like, is this my husband? She's saying, is this the person that I would want to build a life with? And I hope that
Oh,
she is able to keep asking herself those questions, and then by the end of this journey, be ready to leave him in the dust.
I pray. I literally pray.
Mhm.
Kaylee sees the clip of Summit on the yoga date, like, obsessing over
Mhm.
Jasenia's ass and calling Jasenia
Mhm.
mysterious because, mysterious is good. Mysterious is fun because, like, men always want what they don't, like, understand, blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah. And then they show the clip of where he goes to kiss someone, but they cut it off before anybody actually gets kissed. So, I mean,
And that made her
again, not
mad. She was like, "I mean, what am I supposed to do with this? That was half information." Like, I could tell she was pissed off about, like,
mhm.
the fact that the show kinda did that to her, you know?
100%, and that's the thing of it's like, Kaylee gives me vibes that she's, like, a very intelligent and in touch woman, and so I
Mhm.
think she's like, "Okay, well, I didn't see anyone get kissed, so, like, did he get rejected? Did
Mhm.
he just, like, not kiss someone?" Like, there's obviously more to the story that I'm not seeing, and now I'm mad.
Uh-huh.
And so but she's like, "Well, I still feel like he isn't learning anything. Like, you don't learn by being disrespectful to your partner. Like, you learn by digging inside yourself and, like, moving forward." But, like, it looks like he went for the girl that I expected him to go for, so I don't know. I guess I just need to think about it and process this.
Mhm. And I hope that she's
Crazy.
able to process this, away from him, and she's able to, like, really I bet you the videos are coming up kinda soon.
I think that very good chance that we'll probably end our next podcast talking about the video messages.
Yeah.
And in the preview for the season to come, I don't remember who it was, but it looks like there's some craziness possibly happening with those as well. So
Mhm.
we'll have to
Well,
see.
also, the preview of the season to come, they showed Summit calling his mom and being like, "Mom, it's hard." Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. I'm somebody who cries and calls her mom, but, like, I mean
You know what? It's so interesting because typically speaking, like if you are a woman who dates men and you're looking for a man to date, like finding a man who like loves his mom is generally, like, a pretty positive trait, like, if they treat their mom
Mhm,
well, they're more likely to be a good partner to you because they, like,
mhm,
understand that women are people kinda
mhm.
vibes. Obviously, there's, like, mother-son relationships that are not normal, that it's not a good sign, but this
Sure.
isn't the podcast for that. And so it's, like, generally speaking, I'd be like, "Oh, someone's calling their mom, like, that's nice." Like, "Aw," but this one, I'm like, "No, leave her
Also, like,
alone."
Temptation Island is, like, not a family-friendly show where you feel like you should be
I
calling your mother.
When Summit won Never Have I Ever, he has a confessional where he goes like, "I guess winning Never Have I Ever is an accomplishment, but, like, my grandma wouldn't be proud to see this, and Kaylee wouldn't be proud to see this." It's like, well, yeah, I don't think your grandma would be happy to see you on a show called Temptation Island, living in a house with 12 sexy
No,
singles. Like,
no.
I feel like grandma's
Okay,
pride is out the window.
exactly. Okay, who should we talk about next? I'll let you pick. Who do you wanna say
Uh,
for last?
let's do Sydney and Mikey.
Okay. Oh,
Because
I'm
I think
game.
we have to end on the
The train wreck, yeah. Mhm,
train wreck. So Sydney and Xavier, they're on the yacht together on the date, and they have a
mhm,
conversation about like Mikey's attitude and actions during that first date ceremony when everyone picked their dates, and how like he was so nervous and upset, but then when all the single women came out, he's a jokey person, and
mhm.
I think Xavier calls him immature.
Yes,
I don't think Sydney's
Xavier
the one who
says
says
he's
it.
immature.
And Sydney
Mhm,
says, "I don't wanna talk about him, like, let's talk about you." And it just
mhm.
seems like they're having a really good conversation. It seems like they have a good connection. They look so good together. Like,
They look so good together. I do have to say this, okay? Xavier
yes.
seems very perfect. However, he is a cornball with the
Yes.
guitar stuff and
I
that,
and
I'm like, "Ah!"
I to see the scene where they're on the hammock with the guitar and it be an electric guitar was one of the weirder things I've seen in this world. And this is where we get a confessional from Sydney where she's like, "What's wrong with Xavier? Like, how has he treated a woman badly for him to be so perfect now? Like, I just feel so comfortable with him." It's so, and it's like, you know what? Good for them.
Mhm.
But also, yeah, like What is there something wrong with him? And if so, what
I
is
hope
wrong with
not.
him? I hope
Don't say
not.
that, Kirsten. Let's live in the land where Xavier's perfect.
I love it. And then like Sydney and Xavier just go on another date. They're just at a coffee shop, and I'm like, what's this date budget? What's happening
They
here?
started doing this because we'll talk about this with the train wreck too. They just like if
Mhm.
people are vibing, I think they're like, okay, now go on another date. Like the producers have learned of the show. I think like maximum drama is
Yes.
better, even if like there are no rules on Temptation Island. Just do whatever will be dramatic. So they
Yes.
go on like a random date where they're just chatting, getting to know each other better, and
And it's
all the
really
while.
sorry. The
Mhm.
only thing I want to talk about on this date is I really like she mentions like I like that you don't actually like put Mikey down and talk shit about him and put him in a bad light all the time. Like I like that you're just like listening to me and we're having this experience together. And
Mhm.
she says that when she dated Mikey in college, it turns out he actually had a girlfriend. So she
Yes.
was the other woman the first time, but she didn't know it, obviously. Like she didn't
Mhm.
know. And she said, okay, well, like you could be with me or you could be with the girlfriend. He picks a girlfriend because, like, guess what? Ladies, he's never leaving his partner for you. Ever, ever, ever.
Mhm.
It will never happen. And
Mhm.
then when the girlfriend cheated on him, then he went back to Sydney. And so, like, she feels insecure that she's maybe the one he got stuck with because he couldn't have the woman he really wanted. And I feel like
And
that's really important to their relationship dynamic.
and she knows that he was doing all of that when he had a girlfriend, and a girlfriend that he clearly really loved because he didn't pick her over him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So like it makes total sense that she's super insecure about all of it because she has been on the other side of it and like seen the way that he acted. I'm sure in her head the whole time she's like, if he could have acted like that with me when he was in a committed relationship, like what is he doing to me? And that I think has
exactly.
always been the thing that's plagued them.
100%. Meanwhile, Mikey's having so much fun talking to the girls. Like all the other men, they're working out, having bro time, but he's different. He likes talking to the girls. And he says to them, like, I know who I gravitate to and I won't fight it. Like, whatever. She might find someone else too. What if I fall for one of you guys? It's fine.
He is corny as hell.
He is corny as hell.
Like I think he's just really immature. Like I don't know how old
Yeah.
is he? He's 24, 25.
Yeah, he's
Like
24.
I would believe that he was like 19. You know, like he's
Oh, I don't know if I would go that far, but it
like
is surprising to me
emotionally.
that like he's very immature and like it does seem like he gets along great with women and like he
Mhm.
does a good job of talking to women like they're people and not objects, which is good.
Okay.
But
Okay, but
he
I was tricked most recently by one West Wilson as somebody who talks to women like they're people and not objects, and it turns out he has a girlfriend in every state. So I don't believe that. That bar is in
um
hell.
I well like yes,
Mhm.
100%. I but that's the thing where it's like, well, if they're all gonna do dirt anyways, at least there's some that talk to women like people while they're
Yeah.
doing it. It's like again, bars in hell, but I don't
Yeah.
know. He steps over the
I
lowest possible bar, but then right under the next lowest.
I think Mikey is really immature, and I also think that he's very emotional, but he has
Yes.
no emotional intelligence. Like he cannot process his emotions in a healthy way. And I think that that is the main thing that we're seeing.
Yeah, and I think more than anything, he's just super unregulated as
Yeah.
well, which definitely
Yep.
feeds into it. So at the bonfire, Sydney gets the clip of Mikey talking to the girl saying, "Oh, like what if I fall for one of you?" A convo that he has with India, where India's like, "Listen, if you want to be a friend, we're friends. Keep it like this. But if you want it to be romantic, you have to stop being so goofy and you have to
Mhm.
be serious if you want it to be anything else." And then he has a confessional where he says, I need to be selfish. And if I need to shoot my shot with India, I need to shoot my shot with India. And Sydney's like, okay, well, that's a lot. She cries.
She has, like,
Um,
a huge emotional breakdown.
yes, and
Runs into the
Mark is
bushes.
she runs into the bushes, and Mark is kind of gentle parenting her through it and, like, helps her
Mhm,
calm down and come back to the bonfire, and he even to the point where he's
mhm,
like, "We need to talk about it, like, I can sit next to you while we talk about it if it makes it feel
mhm,
better," and she's like, "No, no, no, like, you can go back to your spot, it's okay," and she's
mhm,
like, "Is that not insane? Like, I feel crazy, and you know what? At least now I can move
mhm,
on with my life because he is showing me the person that I already knew he was, like, why
mhm.
would I be upset about that?" But she brings up that they had just been on a family vacation where they were talking about marriage.
I
And
know.
so she's like, "Well, wish him the best, but it's not with me. Spots on a leopard don't change. Sorry." And
Ugh.
this is Mark is like, "Well, try to see what you can create and maybe your next relationship will be good and you could build better patterns in your brain for this." And like this is where I'm like, Mark L. Wahlberg doesn't give a shit about Mikey either.
Mhm. No, well, I think that he likes that Mikey is emotional, like, he likes an emotional, like,
Yes.
guy always, but, like, no, I mean, I think that he feels really bad, like, though she's having this huge, giant emotional reaction, like,
Well,
I
and
think that, like, he feels protective.
what I think that Mark doesn't like about Mikey is that like Mikey is clearly very emotional, but he tries to pretend he's not and that he's fine.
Mhm,
And so I think he perceives Mikey as not actually playing ball in Temptation Island. And Marco
mhm.
Wahlberg truly believes in Temptation Island as a way that you can like fix a relationship and fix yourself for future relationships. Like he
Yes.
does. He really believes in it
Mhm,
and you can tell and he brings so much care into the show because he believes in it. And so I think the fact that Mikey's not really taking it seriously really is not good. So he get Mikey sees the clip of Xavier and Sydney on the boat talking about him being immature and the guitar scene and then the confessional where she says she feels comfortable with Xavier and calls him perfect. And this is where like Mikey's like, "Well, Sydney doesn't want me. Well, that's fine. He doesn't love me. It's all good. Like it's not even about Xavier, it's about me. Like I just feel attacked." And Mark's like, "No, like let's talk about what you really feel. Like how do you really feel? Like it's so scary when you love someone." And it's like, no, when you love someone and it's the right person, it's not scary.
I
Like,
mean, I think Mikey is just, like, super insecure, like,
yes,
he clearly needs a lot of female validation to feel secure,
yes,
like, that's what's going on. He saw that clip of her with this guy who he clearly is bothered by because he's perfect,
yes,
and
100%.
he heard the guy say something negative about him. He didn't hear Sydney come to his defense, and that is her huge sin. And even like he comes back to the villa talking shit up and down about it. And the girls at the villa are like, I don't even think she said anything bad.
Yeah,
He's acting like she has hurt him so badly he can never go back to her. And they're like, oh my God, did she cheat on you? And he was like, worse. She didn't correct a guy who said I was immature. And like they were like, oh, okay.
meanwhile, all the women are like, "Oh, he's acting very immature right now."
Like I think that he just that's why I'm saying he's so like a little boy to me. And not in I don't mean that in like even a super negative way. I just think he's very young and he like has a lot of growing up to do. Like a lot.
Yeah, he has a lot of growing up to do, and but it's also like, yeah, 24 is super young and you have a lot of growing up to do at 24, but I'm also like, you're also grown and you should be at least
No,
like working on it at the same
I
time.
completely agree. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not saying, oh, that's why I'm like, he's more like 19 to me because
Yeah.
that's the level of growth that like you need from 19 to, like
Yes,
he
100%.
feels like a young boy to me, like somebody who really has not done the work or
Yes.
had the maturity that people go have by the time they're 24. Like and I don't know if he's interested in that. Like, I think he thinks that he is that and that he's mature now and that he's great, but like, he's deeply insecure. He's deeply immature. He is very unregulated. Like, to me, I don't even know that I think he's a really bad guy. I think he's just like got a lot of growing up to do.
Yeah, it's the thing where like this could be a crossroads for him where he really like digs in, starts doing the work on himself and makes an effort and like in the future could be in a place to be a really good romantic partner to someone if he really wants that. Or it could be the thing that pushes him to be worse than ever before because like how you said about the men's attitude going into the first bonfire and how they just like they don't even care to have to see how other people perceive them. It's just it's giving that he feels so affronted at the fact that someone else could have an opinion on him. That's not how he sees himself. And it's just giving very insecure and unhealed.
So
he
Sydney,
has
I was gonna say like Sydney is dumped him in her mind. She's moved on from him.
They're broken up. It's over for her. So she goes back and it's like she brings Xavier on the double date. So she's now been on 3 or 4 dates with him at this point. They're talking. They have a confessional where she's like, you know, we were friends and now like we're friends, but also we're seeing where this goes. And like, I think this is really great. Like we're dating now. And Xavier makes her this card, which is this is where you go back to you calling him a cheese ball, where it's like it looks like a gift. That's a little thing that you pull. When you pull it, it opens the gift. And then inside the gift, it says, like, Sydney is the prize.
And she's like, nobody's ever. I was like, girl, okay, you like him. If you're into this, you like him. You know?
Yeah, 100%. It's the kind of thing where if someone you don't like does this, you get a supreme ick and you think they're a total creep. But if someone you like does it, you're like, oh, that's so nice.
Yes, exactly. And
very strange behavior.
But like I think that it's only a matter of time before she kisses him and they get physical. Like when I tell you Mikey is a thing of the past for her, she is moving on, period.
And you know what? As she should be. Like there's a point where they're up in her room and she hands him her journal to read all the things that she wrote about him. And like he's like, oh, I have a perfect smile. Ha ha ha. I'm like, oh, I can't imagine. But Xavier's even in Confessional, he's like, you know what? I'm going really delicate with the speed. I don't want to push too hard. I'm letting her drive. And like, it really does feel like a relationship with Sydney could be within my grasp. Like it feels like it's possible. And like on the outside looking in, it feels super possible to me as well.
I'm rooting for them. I'm like, they live close together. Like they'll be the hottest couple in the world.
The only thing that could make me not root for them is like, oh my God, what if he did go on Love Island USA though? And then he could be like way more famous. But that's fine. If they end up, well, let me watch him on TV for longer. Okay. What about me?
Sure.
So at the bonfire, Mikey gets the scene of Sydney on the dancing. They go on a date where they're like doing Brazilian dancing. Sees talking about Xavier like making it easy, talking about how they're dating now, sees them holding hands, and a confessional of Sydney saying that Xavier has opened her eyes to what love, a relationship, and a man look like.
And a man.
And Mikey's like, well, that's fine. Nothing here makes me uncomfortable. If that's the guy for her, like, I get it. If I'm not the guy for her, well, I have to accept that. Like, she's just living her truth. Like, that's my best friend. So I support her, whether she's right or wrong. And Mark's like, have an emotion. Have an emotion about this. Like, this is serious.
And then later in the confessional outside of Mark, he's sobbing.
He's weeping.
He's weeping. And he's like, I just thought that she loved me more than this. It's only been a week. And like, I do like feel, you know, like he was not acting appropriately at all. And like, he deserved, he's the one who wanted to take them to Temptation Island, but like, he was weeping. It was tough. It was tough.
He was a broken man in that moment. And like, I do understand that would bring up some really big emotions. Because again, like it's only been a week. And the way he perceives it, he's like, well, I haven't cheated on anybody. I haven't done anything physical. So like, why why would you do this to me? And it's like, well, you said enough to kind
Mhm.
of set her free, and now she's free. So then
Mhm.
they go to the women's bonfire, which is this is where we see it. It's at the start of episode 5. So we're gonna cover until about
Mhm.
the first 10 minutes of episode 5. And
Mhm.
Sydney sees the aerial yoga date. They're talking about their energies deep. Like India and Mikey saying, oh, they're opposites and opposites are compatible. And she's like, yeah, I'm glad he found a connection to explore. Like, if that's how he feels, I love that for him. I hate that it couldn't be me, whatever. Like, I'm done. I'm not going to let this man hurt me anymore. See what the other side looks like. And it's beautiful. And it's so funny because she's saying, like, almost verbatim the exact same
Mhm.
shit Mikey said. But Marco
Mhm.
Wahlberg's like, normally I'd push back on this, but I really think you're telling the truth. Like, you're glowing. Everyone keeps talking about how Sydney is
She is
glowing,
glowing.
and she
She
is
is.
glowing.
Well,
But it's just
she has the
so
hottest man that I've
funny.
ever seen waiting at the villa for her. Period. Mhm.
I just think it's so funny that she is
Mhm.
verbatim saying the same
Mhm.
stuff, but Mark's like, I believe you and I don't believe when Mikey says it. Which
Mhm.
is like, it makes sense though, because then Mikey's in the confessional crying, and I'm sure that Marco Wahlberg is seeing like dailies with information to show
Mhm.
that Mikey's feeling really emotional about this. Then he's seeing all the Sydney confessionals where she's literally effervescent.
Mhm, and she's, like, giggly, and I mean,
Yeah.
I think the great love story of the season, like, is gonna be freaking Sydney and Xavier. Like, maybe he'll propose to her by the end. I'm like, "What is this, The
Okay. Whoa,
Bachelorette?"
whoa, whoa. Slam the
No, I
brakes.
know.
That's a bit
I
much.
know, I'm
That
totally teasing, but,
But
like,
no,
wow.
I think you're right about that being like the big relationship of the season as well. So I'm really excited
Mhm,
to see where it pans out. And
mhm.
I have got to assume that in episode 5 and moving forward that Mikey is going to get physical with India as a way to get revenge.
Retaliate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then
Well,
we have one
the
couple
time has come.
left.
The time has come for our Hot Mess Express.
Jack and Cheyenne. And I have to tell you, it's so hard for me to say Jack and Cheyenne because it rhymes with Jack and Diane, like from the
Yep.
song.
I was about to say little ditty about Jack and Cheyenne. Um, they are so okay. He hates her
Yep.
and she hates him,
Mhm.
but they are codependent.
Extremely.
And like to the point where she said it, like, I don't know where he ends and where I begin. Like, I don't know
Mhm.
who I am without him.
Yeah,
And
both of them at certain points say they, like, have lost their identity in the
yeah.
relationship, which is very sad, and hopefully they can both move on
Mhm.
separately because they are not meant to be together.
No.
Um,
And
and
she sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna no, but you go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say she clearly has lost a lot of confidence in this relationship with him, but the way she makes up for it, like Mikey's go-to is like the humor, the jovial guy, like nothing bothers me, I'm good. Her go-to is like to be very harsh. Like she is like a ball buster,
Mhm.
and so like she'll say all these things like Jack doesn't, Jack can't pay for, like, can't take me on a date, blah, blah, blah. Like, Jack is this, Jack is
Well,
that. Like,
but
I'll cut
even,
his dick
like,
off, that kind of thing. But, like, I
I
think go ahead.
I feel like it started so much slower than that, though. Like, we're at the
Mhm.
start of the episode, she's saying, like, "Oh, yeah, Jack and I don't go on dates really. Like, only on my birthday will Jack plan a date. And, we've only been on that." And then, like, the person she's on a date with will be like, oh, so he's like cheap and can't afford you. And then that's where she like takes the encouragement and she runs so far. Cause then
Mhm.
she'll be like, yep, I've been stuck with the same penis for 5 years. And it's like, that's called having a committed relationship. What do you mean stuck with? Because you actually are free. It is not illegal to
Mhm.
break up. If you wanted to sleep with other people, you could go do that.
And, the guys were so affronted by the clip of her being like, "He's cheap,"
They
and
acted
I will
like,
s
sorry,
go
they
ahead.
acted like she punched him.
No, they did. They really, I think, kind of overblew it, but it wasn't great. It wasn't
No.
great. And that's why I'm like, they don't like each other. They are bonded to each other, but they don't like each other. And, the bonfire clip that she sees of him at first, like in that episode
Mhm.
2, I do want to just talk about that because like it kind of gets us into the whole like
It's
thing with Carson.
This is so crazy. So at the
Mhm.
men's villa, they play a game where we talked
Mhm.
about the sexy I don't even know if we talked about it actually. Everyone wrote down 3 sexy secrets and then they were going through and like saying who
Mhm.
they thought it was. And
Mhm.
um the secret that Jack wrote
It's
I can't.
disgusting. It's
Anyways,
disgusting.
he
He
says
says
that oh yeah, please.
he says that Carson looks like her.
Carter.
Mm-mm. Oh, Carter. Oh, I have written Carson down. Carter looks like her. I'm going to say kitty, but
Yeah.
the other term.
He uses the
Look
P word.
looks like it tastes like candy.
And when Cheyenne sees this clip, she immediately just goes, "Is he okay?" Which I think is exactly what I said when I saw it happen in the first place. Because
Uh-huh.
what do you mean? She also sees a scene from Jack and Carter on a date, them in the pool together. And Cheyenne's like, "This is not how he acts. Like, this is not his
Mhm.
personality." And like, I'm not having fun, and he's having fun, and it was his idea to be here. I wish I never
Mhm.
came here. Like, what the
Mhm.
hell? And Marco Wahlberg's like, "Well, what's the alternative? You just be together at home the way it was before. Like, now you have to fix it because you have to confront it."
Well, but
Date
she was
Mark.
kind of I think that she was kind of like, "Yes, that is what I want," but he's right because they weren't happy. And like the thing that's just so crazy is after he sees these bonfire clips, he has a confessional. Jack has a confessional where he's like, I saw her clip and I just I got to choose me. And then basically turns around and takes a shot out of Carter's boobs and is like, I'm choosing me. And it's like, yuck, yuck.
It's it's just extremely bizarre. One crazy thing Mark L. Wahlberg said that we have to just have it on the record is that when he's
Mhm.
telling Cheyenne about like how to move forward, he's like, play with these guys, talk to your girls. I'm like, Mark.
Yeah. I
Um,
I also think that like Cheyenne, we see many clips of her in the villa throughout, like having these
mhm.
panic attacks, like thinking about what he's doing, being like, oh my God, being away from him is so scary. It's so hard. And then her coming to these realizations, being like, I feel okay being away from him, which like
Yes.
is I think a little bit again, like the lady doth protest too much. Like I don't know how she's really doing. And even when she went to see that second bonfire clip in episode 4, which we don't need to jump all the way ahead, like we can
Yeah.
go back, but like she even was like, I'm just so excited to see him. Like hearing his voice makes me happy. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh girl, you are all jimble jambled up.
Yeah, and that's how you're like, okay, well now I don't really believe you that you're having such a blast if you're just excited to see his face and hear his voice.
Yeah.
Um, they Yeah, Jack again, yes, he's the convo about how she doesn't get pampered and like talk about his pay grade. And he's like, well, she hasn't looked highly on me. This isn't anything I haven't heard before. Like, money doesn't matter to me. I just want to figure out our relationship. And like, she wants something different than what she wanted at 19. And it's like, yeah, because it's been
Obviously.
5 years, dude. People want different things when they're 19 and when they're 24. It's not the same.
Also he doesn't care about money. Okay, so who pays his bills? That's why he doesn't care about money. Who's paying his
Exactly.
bills?
And I think
I
it's
I don't know if
her.
it's her. I was gonna say, I don't know if it's her. I don't know if it's his mom. I don't know. Like, he doesn't have a job. He wants to be a poker player. Like, maybe I don't want to say he doesn't have a job. Maybe he does like blue collar part time work. I don't know, like gigs here and there, like maybe working at clubs. I don't know. But like, I, I think it's easy to say you don't care about money if you have somebody paying your bills. That's all I'll say.
The only people who don't care about money are people who don't have to worry about having enough of it.
Yeah.
And so, like, however he has, and like, I just don't think that he's doing any sort of like job that you do while you're trying to get your dream job situation. Like, he very much strikes me as the type of person who's like, well, I need to have a job that I'm passionate about, and I'm not just going to work a boring job to work a boring job. And it's because he doesn't have to, because his bills are getting paid some other way. And I do kind of get the vibe it might be her, but it also could be his parents. We don't know.
I feel like it might be a mix, because she keeps saying like,
Yes.
I feel like if she paid all his bills after seeing that second Bonfire clip, she would have been like, I pay all his bills. You know, like she would have said that.
That's a good point. That is a very good point. And then, so this is where Jack is like, I just feel like I'm chasing. Like, I fucked up one time and she just treats me like shit. The other men are like, she's so scary. No, she's not. What do you mean?
But also then we find out that she apparently kissed somebody before he cheated.
I don't believe that for a second, because he's like, I just, I didn't want anyone to think she's a bad person, but actually she kissed someone. His friend's like, oh, she cheated first before you even did, as if that like makes it okay what he did. And it's like, if she kissed someone, yes, kissing is still cheating, but it's less cheating than having full sex and coming home with a hickey is. And
totally.
I don't believe that happened, because I feel like now he feels insecure, he feels put down, and now he wants to make her seem bad and mean. And so he's just saying whatever, because guess what? All of these men are known liars. So I actually don't just believe them at their word when they say something like this.
Also, like, he said literally, oh, excuse me. It's late here as we're recording. He said literally, like verbatim in the first episode, before I cheated on her, our relationship was perfect. Exactly. So either you lied then or you're lying now. Which is it, sir?
One of them
I want
has
to talk
to
about
be
Carter
alive.
and him.
Yes, please.
Tell me what you think.
I think that in the game of Temptation Island, Carter is a very good player in this game, and she is doing exactly what she needs to do as a tempter. After the bonfire, Jack like takes her into a confessional and then turns off the light in the confessional room and kisses her. We hear the sounds, and it's like, you think you're slick, Jack? You're wearing a mic. Come on.
He thinks he's so slick. He's like, let's close the blinds. What? They've got a camera in your room, babe. What are you? Also, I think, like, honestly, he's 25, but he's clearly pretty immature. Like, she's 22. And his girlfriend Cheyenne is only 23, but like, this girl feels like a young, fun 22 versus Cheyenne, who I feel like has got some really strong, like, forward moving goals. Like, Carter feels like she's living life as a fun 22-year-old, which is what Jack wants to do. Like, there's no surprise to me that he likes her.
Yes. And the other thing too, and it's relevant with Carter and with all of the other, relationships that happen between the tempters and the main people. It's like, yeah, when you're meeting a new person who's hot and whole goal is to seduce you, yeah, that's fun. You don't have to worry about your life or your job or what's going on outside of this villa. You get to just have fun, and you don't have all this past baggage. Whereas with your partner, well, you've cheated on them. And so there's like concerns and trust issues. So like, of course it's not as fun when you're like dealing with trust issues as it is to be on vacation and hooking up with hot strangers. So like, but I feel like specifically the men this season are really not understanding that difference. They're just like, this is so fun. This is so nice. This is what a relationship can be. It's like, dude, you're not at home.
It's like La La Land. You know what I mean? And also, I do think there's like a lot of these moments where it's the art of peer pressure. You know what I mean? These guys are doing crazy stuff with these girls that maybe girls like this would never look twice at them if they weren't in this situation and the only single guys. Maybe they wouldn't do it if there wasn't, 9 girls being like, do it, like, get in the pool naked. Like, I think that this show has a lot of other layers in that way.
Yes.
But Jack, like, even Carter was in her confessional and she was like, I knew eventually he would hook up with me, but I didn't think it would be this soon. And Which brings us to the next bonfire.
Yeah, well, and we even have like Lala's in Confessional being like, or Lulu, not Lala. What's Teletubby? Am I talking about a Teletubby now? Lulu is like, well, he's already folded. He might as well just go all the way now. Like, what the hell? It's like, okay.
I also like it is kind of true.
I mean, yeah, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
And like they Carter and Jack also go on another date where they get a coffee and he's like, I don't do romantic things or buy gifts in my relationship. And so I'm trying to save that. And it's like, by buying a hoodie on production's dime, yeah, this is gonna.
I was about to say everything. He didn't pay for that hoodie.
I gotta tell you, when you go on these shows, production takes your wallet away. He doesn't have his ID. He doesn't have his passport. He doesn't have his any money at all. That I said, like, essentially on these shows, you kind of get human trafficked a little bit because you don't have access to any of your own things and you're trapped. And then they get you blackout drunk. It's really troubling if you look at it too close.
They are getting so drunk. The guys,
they're blackout drunk,
are getting so drunk. Like, there's a couple of confessionals that Summit did where I was like, he's never going to remember this. He's blacked out right now.
No, they are on another planet. And it's like they did in these episodes, like all of the women went to like a club and all of the men went to a club. And like after the men's club where they were doing shots and it was going crazy, then they get back to the house and the women are like, oh yes, now the men are ready to go. Now they're touching us when they weren't touching us before. And it's like, well, yeah, because the producers weren't getting the content they wanted. And so now everyone's blackout drunk. Like it happens all the time. Like there's the reality shows where you get like one bottle of alcohol and it's like dyed blue so that you can't squirrel it away. And then there's shows where you get a seemingly unlimited supply. And this is the latter. So when it goes to the next bonfire, the scene that Jack gets is Cheyenne talking about how she doesn't trust him. He knows how much he hurt her. Their relationship is toxic and that the time apart has her feeling good and she's having a blast. And Jack is like, yeah, I'm not caught by surprise. Like the honeymoon stage has definitely faded and the happiness as well. It's hard to hear, but I agree. We're not happy. He's like, yeah, I feel like I'm learning to be myself again. I just didn't expect to find Carter. And it feels nice to not be judged here. Whereas in my relationship, I feel judged and I think our relationship is not fixable. I'm like, yeah, again, you don't feel judged when you're on vacation in La La Land. Again,
and this girl more TV time. She basically said it in her confessional. She's like, I knew he would hook up with me eventually. I just didn't think it would be so soon. Like, this idiot. So,
and sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so we move on to Cheyenne.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's the conversation of Carter asking Jack if their connection scares him. And this is a scene where they're on the beach, like really looking deep in each other's eyes and kind of like licking their lips. Like I really thought they might make out in that moment when we saw them on the beach. So I was like, they are horned up right now.
They are like so horny for each other. They're so horny for each other. Literally, it's like, what is that show, Too Hot to Handle, where they can't kiss or they lose money? Like they would be great for that show, I feel.
Carter especially. And so then it shows them in the hot tub, that confessional where the lights go out and there's kissing sounds, them agreeing to go to bed together, which I guess nothing happened. They just slept. But also like he's like telling her to close the blinds. And then it ends with her being like, I'm in bed with a man who has a girlfriend. And he goes, it's kind of fun though, right? Cheyenne loses her mind. She says, shut the fuck up. As she should. She's like, did he fuck her? Like, what's going on? And she's like, I've given this man so many chances. I've given him 5 years. He did this knowing I would see it. Like, is this real life? And this is where the episode cuts off and we go into episode 5. So as you can tell, that we couldn't just end it here. And
she also says before the episode cuts off, like, it's it. I'm off the show. She literally says, I'm done. I'm off the show. And they left that in. Juicy.
Well, I think they like leaving in when people say they're going to quit, but then they don't quit.
Yeah. I guess.
And she's like, literally the first line of episode 5 is Cheyenne going, "Love is not real." I'm like, oh, girl, it is. And so they're all just talking about Jack is like a boy. He's a child. She's like, I really loved him. I gave him all of me. I'm constantly providing for him. I make him feel like more than he is. And then this is where she starts calling him a loser and a bum, saying she can't stand him and she hates him. References like calling Carter a loser too, basically being like, I hope she enjoys 30 seconds with him. So it's like it does get to like a mean point. Which is it's emotional. She's super emotional, and I think that she probably looks back at some of the things she said and is like, oh, maybe I wouldn't say that again with a calmer head. But then also some of it, she probably still believes it. And also, we're not in the relationship, so
she was seeing red. You know, like he cheated on her and he did publicly. She said it all at the beginning. She's like, he brought me here to publicly humiliate me. Like, he knew he was going to do this. And she's right. He did. And he knew he was going to do it. He wanted to be on TV. He didn't care that he was going to embarrass her.
He literally said at the start, cheating on Cheyenne isn't something I want to do again. He never said he wouldn't do it. And like at one point she's like, I hate him, and one of the other women goes, you don't need him, and she's like, no, I do, I hate him a lot. And she's like, oh no, I said you don't need him, we all hate him a lot. Like that's okay. And so then the women leave the bonfire together. We know that they're gonna have more solo dates, and Markel Wahlberg tells them that the Temptation Haven is back, which if you don't know, it's a tent where if you enter the tent, there are no cameras in there, so you can cheat without any witnesses. And also, whenever someone goes into the Temptation Haven, a light glows at the other villa. You don't
cheating
know.
Light.
We love the cheating light. Cheating light is one of the best twists in reality TV history. And you don't know who is in the Temptation Haven. You just know that someone is. And so it really throws everybody into a blender. I am so excited to see what comes of this. I assume Jack is going straight into the Temptation Haven with Carter, like the second they get back.
I assume Cheyenne is going to say, hey, who wants to go into the Temptation Haven with me? And is going to kiss them or not, or just go in there to piss them off and make the light go off. Like, I think that if I put myself in her shoes, that's what she's probably going to do.
But I think she's going to have to race Sydney and Xavier.
Oh, like, Kirsten, this is so fun.
Yes, this is a blast. So that is where we're at, about 10 minutes into episode 5. But what, we were going to stop in the middle of a bonfire? Absolutely not. That's illegal. We would never do that to you the way Netflix does it to us. But yeah, so I guess from here, we'll be back probably later today. Like we're recording these over different days, but I think like all of this is probably going to just come out on the same day. So you probably have more podcasts about episodes 5 to 7 and then 8 and 9 ready for you. You can always watch the video, youtube.com/@RHAP. You can leave a 5-star rating and review on the Hot Dummies on Islands feed just to show that you're listening. And you can follow Maggie everywhere at MLMorgan_, correct?
Yes. And also, please leave us some comments. Give us your thoughts. We will be in the comments. We will be replying. We will be chatting. Like, we are here. We're ready to get into it.
We live in the comments. And yeah, you can follow me at Kirsten Said What. Listen to Mess Magnets. Beyond the Villa is coming back next week. And we'll see you on the next recap. Thank you so much for listening.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.